Hi, welcome to my QuickBooks training class. In this session, we are going to treat an illustration. So over here, I have an illustration, a quite simple illustration, just to begin with. So, the illustration says Abdul begins to deal in second-hand bicycles, starting with 200,000 in cash. So, this is the first time. So it's introducing 200,000 capital in cash form. So let's go ahead and record that transaction. So the first thing you can do is to go under company, then make general journal entries. Okay, so over here, you see the date is let's say it started 1st of May. So let's select 1st of May. Now remember, we have two accounts that's affected here. We have cash and capital. Abdul represents the capital, then cash represents the other entry. So we are receiving, debit the receiver and credit the giver. So cash here is receiving, we are debiting cash, then crediting Abdul. But just that we're not going to name it Abdul, but we're going to call it capital. So here I'll go with my cash, or let me see, bank. If I've not created any, so add new, click on bank, then you can say cash on hand, cash in hand. Okay, so we just created one now, so 200,000. So I'm going to be showing us how it affects our report. So introduced, so you can just simply say Abdul introduced capital. So we don't have any name here, so I might select and create like order, just to track my transaction as regards Abdul. Okay, so then the next one is to select an equity account. So over here we have open balance equity and retain, and you cannot post, you're not even supposed to post to this account, so rather we add new. So I'm going to select equity, then continue. So I'm going to name it owners contribution. Depends if it is partner, if it is common equity, common stock, you can go ahead to fix that. So now I have 200 and my entry number is 00001. So save and close. So now let's head on to report. Let's see how. Now if you go to profit and loss, you don't expect to see anything there because you've not sold anything, so you're not supposed to go to that report. Let's go to balance sheet standard. Here we're supposed to see something. So you see we have cash in hand and owner's contribution, which is perfectly recorded, as you can see. Okay, the next report you can also check is the statement of cash flow. So you see from statement of cash flow, we have owner's contribution under financing activity because it is an equity. Under financing activity, so you have 200, which definitely translates to the cash at hand of 200,000. So you can see you can generate balance sheet reports and a statement of cash flow. Okay, heading to the next. They say on 20th of May, he buys a lot of 4 bicycles for 120,000. A lot is like 4 of the bicycles are worth 120. So if you do 120 divided by 4, you have the amount for each. So let's head on to QuickBooks. So how do you go about that? So first of all, you have to check your lists. We have what we call item list. Under item list, this is where you create what you buy and sell. So here, Abdul buys and sells bicycles. So we're going to click on item list. So we're going to create a new item. So click on item and new or Control N. So over here, are we tracking this item? Do you want to track the inventory? Do you want to know how many we have, we've sold, how many is remaining? If that is a yes, so I'll click on inventory part. So you see inventory part is used for goods we purchase, track as inventory and resell. So I'm going to call that bicycle. Okay. I'm just going to make use of, if it has a manufacturing part number, you can include that here. So second-hand bicycle, just like the description goes, second-hand bicycles. Okay. Now we have the cost, sales price. We can leave this blank or include an amount, but we can still edit it. So this is the purchase information, the cost of goods, so leave it as it is. The inventory I can leave as it is. If you have any other points, level and maximum, you can include them here. Now we don't have any. I'm just starting the business and I'm just buying for the first time. So I'm creating this item on the day I bought those items, which is on the 20th of May. Okay, select 20th of May. Is it taxable? Let's say non-taxable. We can go about that. Okay. Now the account, we have to select an account that it will affect whenever we sell under the sales information. So I'm clicking on sales, which is an income account. You can see over here. While the cost, the purchase already has the cost of goods sold account. Okay, from here I can hit OK. Then now we've created the item. Without creating the item, we cannot buy or sell. So we have to create the item first. So now we've done the second part. So but now they say Abdul bought these bicycles for a lot. Okay, so how do we go about that? You can click on home, or you click on customer here. You create, let's see what it says. It says he buys a lot of for this, paying cash down. So he paid. So since he paid, we are not creating a bill. Instead, rather we are creating a check. So we are going to write check here, or you come to banking and or Control W to write check. Now, from the money he has in hand, he has not deposited it to the bank, so we still cash in hand on that 20th. So he purchased the item. So I'm going to, we have expense and item, click on item, then select bicycle. You see, we have the description. Now the cost is here. So how much is it? Say 4 of them for 120. If I put on the amount 120, it will give me the cost price per. So if I put 120, so now you see we have a cost price of 30,000 per bicycle. Okay, so it's asking if I want to update the price. So I just leave it as no. Okay, now am I buying this because of a customer? If I'm buying because of a customer, I'll select a customer here. And if I'm to bill that customer as a result of what I just bought, I'll click on billable. But I'm not doing any of that. I'm just buying them to sell them. So I'm buying them to my warehouse, to my store. So I don't need that information. Okay. Now, where am I buying it from? From here, actually, we don't have a description of who we're buying it from. So let's say we are buying it from somebody. So let's say Abdurrahman Yakubu Enterprise, or should I just say Yaksin? Okay, Yaksin Enterprises. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick add. Click on tab on your keyboard. So just do a quick add. Okay, as a vendor. Okay, now okay, so I think we're done with that. So click save and close. Then I'm going to show us the report. Now if you go to report, okay, we have profit and loss. So let's click on profit and loss. Have we sold anything? No, we only bought. So we are not supposed to see anything on profit and loss. So let's go to balance sheet. Definitely we should have something balance sheet. Now as of 17th of May. So I'm going to update it to 20th of May because I bought this on the 20th. So you see, you not see the transaction here because the date range is wrong. So I'm using as of 17th instead of 20. So I'm going to click on 20. Then refresh. So once I'm done, you see cash in hand has reduced to 80,000. Inventory asset 120, which is the bicycle. We bought 4. Then owner's contribution still remain 200,000. Do you understand? So you know in balance sheet, liability and equity is one side, then asset is in the other side. So the cash is just moving in between the assets. You can see in between cash in hand and inventory. That's why we are still having the 200 here, but this 200 does not change. Okay. Now we go to statement of cash flow. So we refresh that. We also select the date, 20th, and excuse me, then refresh. Now you can see we have an inventory asset 120. Cash out, cash went out to purchase this asset. You can see. Okay, so the owner contribution is still 200, while the balance and the cash balance is still 80. We are good to go. But there's one other thing we have to check. Now that we have inventory, we have to go to inventory report. So we can click on inventory valuation summary. So once you click on that, you see as of 20th, you see we have 4 on hand. The average cost is 30. Asset value is 120. Then we've not sold anything. Good. But still, I want us to check another report, which is inventory stock by item. Now we have inventory stock status by item. 20th, refresh. You see we have 4. None on sales order, none in assembly. 4 is available. None on purchase order or reorder. You can see everything is okay. Okay, good. So let's go to the next. He buys a lot of, okay. Now he sells 2 bicycle on 8. So here I'm just going to select, let me just use 25th of May. Okay. Sorry, I did not make use of the year 2023. Similarly here, 2023. Okay. So he sells 2 bicycles on 25th of May for cash at 60,000 each. And the remainder, okay, now he sold these 2 on 25th of May for cash at 60,000 each. So he did not sell it on credit. So we'll head on to QuickBooks, then go home. Now, since it is sales, we're going to customer center. So are we creating invoice? No, because we are not selling on credit. It's sold, I just sold on cash. So instead, you come to create sales receipt here, or you go to customer and enter sales receipt. It will take you to the same window. Okay. Now, who are we selling to? There is no description for who we are selling to, so we might just say we might just create. Let's say George price mode. Okay, price mode. So I'm going to hit tab for a quick add. Okay, now I'll select the item I sold to George, which is bicycle, and 2, remember, then 60,000 each. Okay, okay. Now you have the non-taxable. When did we sell? Sold on 25th of May. So I'm going to select this as 25th of May. Okay. Now I want to have this to 0001. I don't like having them and just one. Okay. Now, with that being said, everything is done and dusted. So we'll hit save and close. Okay, now we'll go back to our report as usual, but now we will see something in our profit and loss. Now we have to, don't know why it's keep on showing me 17th. So let me just use 30th. Okay, let me use 25th. Or can I use 31st, whichever. Now you see they sold 2 bicycle, which is for 120. Then the cost of sold is 60. Remember it is 30-30. But if you want to see, you can double click on that to see the breakdown to see how many okay okay, to still take us back to the okay. So except if you want to customize the report, let me see if we can include quantity. Okay, let me just search quantity. Okay, there's no quantity. I'm trying to include. Okay, it doesn't have quantity. Okay, so now the cost is 60, so our net profit is 60,000. So we'll go to balance sheet. Similarly, let me use the date 31st. Let's use 31st. Now you see the 200 is still there, but we have an additional income of 60,000 as a result of this sales we made. Now you see our inventory asset is, now we're supposed to have an increased cash in hand, but we're still having that 80,000. Why? Because QuickBooks is set to take this money to the undeposited fund. So let's say we sold in cash. So I'm supposed to have it in cash. Where is it? For cash. So instead, I can just go back to QuickBooks, go to Edit, Preferences, then under Payment, I'll click on Company Preference and uncheck this so that I don't have my transaction posted there. Then click on OK. Now, what we are going to do now is to go back to that transaction and post that transaction and record it to the bank. Okay. So now, to the cash in hand. Okay. So we created sales receipt. I click on sales receipt. Then we hit back. This back. Okay. Now you see deposit to undeposited funds. I'll take it to cash in hand. So let me just do save and close, and that handles that. So when we go back to reports, we click on company and financial profit and loss as at the end. So we see we have that same report, which is nice. So we'll go back to balance sheet 2. We have as at the 31st, we have this. You can see our cash in hand is now 200 and everything is set. So we can go to cash flow. Then cash flow, still put the date as at 31st. And then you see we have an income of 60,000 and this 60,000, then operating is 0, then financing is 200. Okay, the next he sold the remainder on 10th of January at 50,000 each. Okay, so the remaining is 2. Then how do we know? You can see that through, remember, inventory stock status by item. So you will see now we have as at 31st to 31st we have 2 remaining. Okay, so now we are going to sell on cash 50,000. Yeah, okay, each. So we'll go to customer sales receipts because it's on cash. There's no sales on credit. So let me add a date there on 30th. Let me just use 30th of May. Okay, May. Okay, then I'll go back to QuickBooks. Then select, what am I selling to? Let me say I'm selling to another person. Let me say Nova Boy. Okay, click add. Now Alex, yeah, welcome. Then